In 1 week, I turned 40. I started my life born in the projects, didn't graduate high school, and became a stone cold alcoholic making so little money I was stealing food to survive. Eventually, I went on to be a standout Golden Glove winning and national champion boxer, getting signed by Rock Nation Sports as a professional. I served in the military, I got a degree in physics, and met the woman of my dreams along the way. And now, said woman and I, who have lived in Portugal because she's born and raised in Portugal, have a kid together. I'm also just finishing my first book set to be published by a major publishing house about my life titled Hard Lessons from the Hurt Business, Boxing, and the Art of Life. The link to pre order is in the pinned comment. It's been a wild ride, and I'm happy that I'm a week out from celebrating 4 decades on this rock with 40 trips around the sun. Still, I would have avoided a lot of crazy women, addictions, and financial mistakes if I had had someone in my life to tell me the 27 things I'm about to share with you that I've learned along the way. Number one, no one is going to save you from anything, especially yourself. The only reason I got my life together, stopped drinking, and enlisted in the army was because one day after waking up with a beer spilled all over my chest from falling asleep yet again while drinking by myself, I looked in the mirror and said, "Yo, bruh, you're a loser." That's a hard thing for a man to admit, but it's the only way you can change your life. Number two, get over whatever happened to you as a child. Some of us were hurt, abused, and neglected, and it's an absolute travesty and it's sad. But you don't get a special pass on adult responsibility or an exemption from following the law because you stay drunk and high to deal with all of your problems. Number three, it's never too late to do anything. I've been a late bloomer my entire life. I didn't even graduate from high school. I didn't start boxing until I was 22. I didn't enlist in the army until I was 29. I didn't graduate from college until I was 33. I didn't have my first kid until 37. And my first published book won't be released until later this year when I'm 40. Don't ever think you're behind in life or ahead in life. You're exactly where you need to be as long as you keep making progress towards something meaningful and you aren't afraid to start. Number four, seek out mentors. If you're unsatisfied with any segment of your life, you're a fool if you don't seek out mentors with success in the area you wish to improve. Learning from others who have already done what you're trying to do is the biggest life hack I can think of. I've watched many men remain losers because they refuse to cut their ego and ask more accomplished men how to improve their health, increase their dating options, or fix their finances. Real men have no problem asking for advice from men who are better than them in a particular area. Number five, if you drink like a standard American 20 something, you're probably an alcoholic. The only reason you don't think that is because you've got the wrong idea of what an alcoholic is. You think it's someone who has liquor stashed in the car, getting behind the wheel plastered all the time, and gets the shakes if they go too long without drinking. But if you're in your 20s and have the balls to look up the behaviors of an alcoholic, you might be surprised to find that you're just a highly functioning drunk. And number six, if you have a problem with alcohol, don't expect any of your friends who don't have a problem to check on you. They're going to feel like hypocrites or enablers. So they're just going to chalk your behavior up to the booze, but there will be a point where they just ghost you for the repeated drunken offenses. Seven, there is a thin line between enjoying your youth and messing up your future. There are some mistakes you make, you learn from, and the only penalty you suffer is a bruised ego and wounded pride. But there are other mistakes that leave you with an incurable disease or physical disability or disfiguration or a criminal record. All of those things are going to make it much harder to have a decent stress free life as you get older. Number eight, there is no downside to being attractive. A lot of you aren't even ugly. You just stop trying. You let your body become soft and fat. You don't sleep. You buy ill fitting clothes for cheap. And you don't take the time to groom yourself. People treat you better and assume the best when you look put together. You get more opportunities for dates and friendships, and you even get paid more. You can't do anything if you're short or have a funny bone structure, but that doesn't mean you should give up on the things you have control over because those can turn you from a four into a six or from a six into an eight. Number nine, take your reputation seriously. People talk and the internet is forever. If you get a reputation for behaving a certain way, don't be surprised if people start talking to you less and less. A good reputation opens doors that you didn't even know existed, and a bad reputation keeps you from ever making progress. Number 10, don't do anything in the shadows that you can't stand by if it comes to light. A lot of you guys are one screenshot of a DM or text message away from ruining your whole lives. And I ain't just talking about sliding into some girl's DMs while your wife and kid are sitting next to you on the couch. Some of y'all trash talk people you claim to be friends with. and it can all be exposed to make all of your friends start looking at you a certain way. Number 11, keep an 800 credit score with your friends. If you owe money to friends or loved ones, pay it back when you said it would or as soon as you have it, whichever comes first. If you have to choose between paying back a friend and paying back an institution, always pay back the friend first. Friends are faster than banks and they understand if things come up. Friends also know if you're bullshitting, and friends hate to be bullshitted. If you want to be respected by people, even your enemies, always keep your word. Number 12, there's a big difference between being liked and respected. And the only reason that you think that they're the same thing is because you aren't used to being either. When people like you, they'll have you around for fun, but they will never take you seriously and never respect you, especially because a lot of the things that make you fun, especially the people in their 20s, tend to make you less respectable. But when you behave in a respectful way that's aligned with your values, not everyone will like you. And remember, that's okay, but people will respect you, and that's far more important. Number 13, y'all got to get off that loner BS. People need people. We're wired to connect and interact. For most of human existence, survival wasn't possible if you weren't part of a tribe. And we ain't even talking about the romantic side of things and the procreation needed to keep the species going. You need to find a tribe of people who you can touch grass with, meaning not just saying all types of derogatory ish to each other on Xbox Live or chatting on social media. Number 14, don't ever change who you are to fit in. I know I told you that you need to find your tribe, but bad company is worse than no company. If you don't really like a group of people, but you try to change who you are to fit in with them, you're going to hate the group and hate yourself because not only are you uncomfortable now, but now you're becoming something that you didn't even like in the first place. 15, not caring what other people think is a superpower. Don't get this advice twisted now. I'm not telling you to not care about the image you put out into the world or your reputation. Don't take this advice to mean that you should act like a moralist, degenerate psychopath either. It means that you have to do what's in alignment with your values, regardless of social or cultural pressure you might face. Number 16, you're going to lose way more friends getting your life together than when you were a degenerate loser. People get real uncomfortable when you change your life status. They don't, and you're no longer someone to look down on. A lot of people will root for you when you're down, congratulate you when you get to their level, then ghost you if you do any better. Number 17, be highly selective with who you get implicated with. This goes for every type of relationship, romantic, business, friendship, familial, and everything in between. Because every person you interact with influences your reputation for better or worse. Number 18, treat every person you have sex with as if they could be the mother or father of your child. This will go a long way in keeping you from making dumb decisions that come back to haunt you. Even if you're on the pill or have wicked pull-out game, you might end up with someone crazy who can't take no for an answer when you try to extricate yourself from them. Number 19, no relationship is easy, but they shouldn't be hard either. Get rid of this fantasy that you're going to find the perfect person who meshes with every aspect of your personality. Think about what a relationship is for a second. It's two people with a different history, perspective, and experiences attempting to coexist. There's bound to be some friction, and it's up to you to figure out how to navigate it. Number 20, the single most important trait for a long-term relationship is the ability to disagree peacefully. More precisely, you and your person should be able to approach disagreements and problems with the goal of solving the problem, not attacking one another. Number 21, you can't change people. You can only inspire them to change by changing yourself. So if you get with someone and they have a stance you don't like or a habit you can't stand, don't expect them to change their mind or stop doing whatever they were doing before they crossed your path. Number 22, all of your emotions are valid and real and no one can take them from you. But that doesn't mean that other people have to respect or even acknowledge them. And it definitely doesn't mean you should do something that will make you feel better at the expense of others. Number 23, it's okay to be disliked by people. As long as a person doesn't dislike you because you screwed someone over or hurt folks, don't waste energy stressing about it or trying to change their mind. There are all types of reasons a person can dislike you, and a lot of them don't have anything to do with you directly. Number 24, you don't have haters. You're probably just an asshole. There's a lot of talk about haters, but here's my honest to goodness experience. If you discount people that you've actively wronged, intentionally or not, then most people don't really care about you, for better or worse. They're too busy making sure their own problems don't eat them alive. Number 25, don't try to save anyone. The only exception are young children, but everyone else, teenagers included, you got to distance yourself from a sinking ship, otherwise, you're going to go down with it. If you see someone on a crash course with ruin and you try to change their path, you're either going to get dragged along with them, run over, or cussed out for trying to make them better. Number 26. Sometimes the best way to break generational curses is to cut the old generation off and start a new one. If you're from a messed up family and you want your child's future to be different, or if you don't have any children, every interaction with them leaves you feeling worse, you got to cut them off. And number 27. Forgiving people doesn't mean letting them back into your life. And it definitely doesn't mean forgetting what they did. It means they no longer have a negative control over your emotions. If you still get angry or wish someone or wish something bad would happen to them, you're the only one carrying that poison. And you think if you drink enough of it, they'll start to suffer. No, you're the only one who suffers. They're probably not even thinking about you.